Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload this video version of onto our YouTube channel. So you can check that out if you feel the need to. My name is Matt, and as always, I am being joined by my sister Vetta.
Hello.
Right on. And on this episode, we are going to be talking about Reminiscence. Is that how you say it? Reminiscence? It was pissing me off the whole time. I'm like, what is this called?
Okay. So what was your first impression before you actually watched it?
No. First off, what are you drinking?
Oh, I am drinking a Tom Collins.
Right on. I'm drinking sangria, but only because I'm 2 bottles in and I didn't want to open up another bottle like with the cork because I'm lazy. So, and this is a little twisty top. So I was like, oh yay, easy access, the way I like it. So I was like, all right, we're just gonna do this. So I'm drinking sangria right now, but I think it's got a pretty high alcohol count.
You need to start making your own sangria so you can
that shit takes too long. I know that takes too long. I ain't got time for that.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did say you were lazy.
I'm so lazy. Okay, so my first impressions of this movie, I'm telling you right now, I can't tell if I like this movie or if I don't like this movie because like there were things that I was just like, oh, that's fun. But then at the end of the day, I was just like, I don't know if I like this or not because I feel like I wasted my time. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know.
So I watched the trailer and I was like, ooh, this looks interesting. I have so many questions. The cast is great. But then there was the little devil on one shoulder going, no, this is just a modern version of fucking Waterworld. It's going to suck. So I was kind of in the same boat as you as I had hopes, lots of hopes that were eventually crushed.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I thought the concept was like fun, but weird. Like
it was fun, but it was just so vague. Whole movie,
like the whole time I'm like, is all you do for recreation is go into your memories? What?
Well, because they're walking around in water. Do you know how much I hate that? Your shoes are soggy all the time.
Yeah,
that wall's gonna fucking break. It was
first. Oh yeah, it was held up by 2x4s. Didn't you see the 2x4s? I was like, what jank ass ghetto version of a wall?
Why did they not just move further inland? Why did they feel the need to stay in Miami? I don't understand.
That's what I said. I'm all like, is the Midwest underwater? Because that's like a lot of water. Like, what is going on? And then the whole time, and on Trisha, my wife,
at a higher sea level than Miami. That would science.
Yeah, and then I kept Trisha, my wife, people. She goes. How are the lights still on? I was like, I was thinking the same thing. How are people not being electrocuted?
Panels on their roofs.
What?
In the one sky shot they show, all of the roofs have solar panels.
But there's still wires.
Yeah, why is everything done at night? Like, I feel like nobody comes out of the house tonight. Is that so they don't see the wall break?
Right. I wrote down on here, people sleep during the day and party at night. I was like, what's different than the world of right now? Like people sleep during the day and they're up at night. So they're like night owls, or I don't remember what he said, but I'm all like, it sounds like the regular world that's not underwater.
Now, see, I just kind of thought that was their way of if the wall broke, they wouldn't see the water coming.
Right on, yeah. Because
it's coming down. You saw how much water was coming over that shit.
Right on. Well, I did write down on my notes earlier, and I was like, this city is so much underwater. Like, there's so much. like in that first shot when they came in and everything, and I was like, oh my God, there's like so much water, and I'm like, oh my God. So it was just, it was a lot. It reminded me a lot of Blade Runner 2049. Did you see that movie?
Yes.
I hated that movie, so I was like, maybe that's what I didn't like about it, because I don't like any of those Blade Runner movies, but whatever. So one thing I did write down before I get into the dislikes, this is the last thing that I wrote down. Okay, so for the whole mystery of it all, I don't know about you, but I totally knew that one girl was sleeping with that old man. that when he went to the courthouse and he was like, did you find her? And then like 2 seconds later, she was all like, Mandy isn't coming in anymore for her regular treatments. I was like, oh, Mandy was sleeping with that dude. Oh, that's who the old wrinkly man was.
Yeah, yeah. I went that pasty ass white guy that you were talking about. She did, because he did. They all
Right.
did.
Yeah. All right. So, what was your what were some of your likes, Sweet Pea?
There aren't many.
One of them is like basically like just the first three things that I wrote down. They can all be lumped into one sum, but I'm gonna go over each of them individually. Go ahead.
So mine was the cast. It's a good.
All right. Well, then let's just talk about this thing, because that's what I wrote down for the first thing that I like. Hugh Jackman, break me off a piece of that, please. Right. Thank you. I was kind of annoyed they didn't show his butt in this movie. I was like, where are those bunny cakes at, buddy? Come on, Daddy needs
right?
it. And then Rebecca
never
Ferguson,
held him back in any other movie from letting us
right?
see those. Why is this so special? You're climbing into water. Come
right?
on.
Yeah. And then Rebecca Ferguson, and I love when she does that like hair flip and like the Jessica Rabbit hair flip, and yes. She's all like, dancing and singing around with her red dress, and I was like, oh, she could totally be Jessica Rabbit.
But didn't you feel like it was almost typecasting, because she almost played like a very similar character, like what her character's job was, is in like what was it, The Greatest Showman?
I didn't get that, but because The Greatest Showman lady didn't do drugs. Give me those sweet pearls. Is that what she said? Give me those sweet pearls. I was like, I wonder what pearl she's talking about, dirty girl.
I was just gonna say, ew, poor thing.
Yeah, and then that Thandie Newton, the black lady in this movie, I like her a lot. She was my favorite. I love her too. She's so good. She doesn't get enough work. I really love her a lot. Yeah, she's so good.
She's really good at it. I wish she was in more, because she definitely owns it when she's there,
Yeah, like during that fight sequence, I think that was my favorite, because she was all like she just came in and she was all like, go ahead.
That's my second light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Then let's just talk about that. I really liked when I like how he walked in and his big plan was like shoot him with the drugs, and I'm all like, that's your plan? You suck at plans. And then he's like, getting like bitten.
He walked in and was like, I want to buy an acidly insane amount of drugs from you, from a guy who we've been keeping alive in a box for the last couple of years, looking at his memories. But
yeah. And I'm like,
it'll work out.
Why didn't he just tell him the truth? Like, hey, I'm looking for May. Like, that would have been
looking for my girlfriend. She disappeared. I'm wondering why she left me. She ghosted me hard.
Yeah, I know she stole a fuck ton of your drugs, but yeah, she was a good lay. So where is she?
He didn't even have to admit to that. He could have played dumb. They didn't need to know he knew that. He literally could have walked in there and been like, my girlfriend is missing. I'm looking for her. I was told she worked here at one point. I'm wondering if she's come back.
Yeah, I was just like, but the fight sequence when she came in and everything, I thought that was really, really good. I liked how the Asian guy, what was his name, Joe, how he was just like nonchalantly just like watching her murder people.
Yeah, as if no stray bullet could hit him or anything. He's
right.
Like,
and I did laugh when the lady
over here when he opened. I did like the piano bench with all the weapons in it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I did laugh out loud when the lady from the bar like jumped and then she got shot. She was like, ugh. And I was like, yo, bitch, you're just a big target when you jump through the air, you idiot.
You just jumped off of a bar into bullets.
Yeah,
they didn't shoot you. You jumped in. That's suicide.
You were safe behind the bar. Why would you leave your?
You had cover. Space? You could have still shot at her with the bullets and the bang bang from behind the bar. You didn't need to climb on top of it and jump into the line of fire.
I literally said out loud, "You stupid bitch!" Like, you stupid bitch.
So I said, "You stupid. You're gonna die."
And I love how she had heels on too. Like, well, now I know you're not gonna do it in heels. You can't jump in heels. Like, come on. So that was good. I also did like Rebecca Ferguson singing.
Yeah,
I had to look that up because in The Greatest Showman she didn't sing for real, but in this one she did, so I liked it. It was nice.
I googled that too. I was like, is that her real voice? And they said yes it is.
Right on.
I was like, nice.
Right, yeah, she's a good singer. What else was something that you liked?
Well, back to that part, I like how she shot the fish tank and he was like, good plan. And she was like, wasn't aiming for that. That wasn't my plan, but I'll take credit for
right. Yeah, no, it was good.
it. I'm gonna be honest, there's not much more for me.
Okay, I'll just I did like that he worked for the DA in getting memories out of like criminals and stuff. I thought that was a little nice touch to it. Because I was all like, you just sit around and let people come in and like look at their crazy memories. And I was like, oh, well, whatever, you know, a girl's got to eat, I guess. And then the last thing I wrote down in my likes was I did like the mystery, but it was a little bit easy just because like first off, when he was all like looking for May, I was like, I don't care where May is. Like, I honestly don't care. But I was like, well, we're on this journey. We might as well walk along and everything.
But didn't you figure it? Excuse me. Didn't you figure it out quite early? Well, I figured it out quite early, and then it was so fucking long to like prove me right.
I didn't think she was dead. That's the thing. That's the only thing that I didn't figure out. Because I was like,
did you think she was on the little hut in the middle of the ocean with
wherever she was with the kid? I was like, oh, she's with the kid.
But you knew the minute she told him that story and he remembered it, that was coming back. And when the boy disappeared, I was literally like, he's on the little hut thing, but I figured she was dead.
Oh, see, I didn't think she was dead. All right, let's move over to our dislikes. Yay. More shit talk. Okay, what was the first thing on your dislike list?
I didn't like how this whole memory thing was like it was like the new addiction, like, people living in the past and wanting to relive their old life and everything. I just didn't like that. I just kind of went, why couldn't they have just been like, no, or turned, I know they have to eat and all of that, but you would think if they're using this for, the justice system, that they wouldn't allow common people to do it so often if there's a chance that they could never wake up if the wrong question or leading is made. I didn't like how they were giving people a chance to like be overly obsessed with what happened in the past. I mean, move out of Miami. You can live on land again. You don't have to have dreams about it. You can get a dog.
I would have got the fuck out of Miami. I would have been like, fuck this.
For sure.
Will Smith ain't getting me to go into Miami. I ain't doing none of that. No. I wrote down, okay, so it goes back to, I did write down that most of the world is underwater. And I like water, but I'm talking about like the water in a pool. I don't like water. Like
I don't like lakes.
Yeah.
Lakes are gross. They have seaweed and stuff. Oceans are okay.
No, oceans are not okay because Jaws lives in the ocean. I've only been in the ocean once. It was on my honeymoon. I got in waist deep. Something touched my leg. I was out. I was like, I'm done.
See, we went snorkeling in Hawaii and there was a little tiger shark, and it was the only thing I got worried about is
a little tiger shark.
There's no such thing. It was like 4 feet long. It was like the same size as me. It was a baby, and my mind went straight to where the fuck's the mom? Right? Like I was looking around going,
I like how you're like, it was only 4 feet long. You mean it was a big ass shark? Like what'd you say?
It was a baby shark.
A baby shark. Baby sharks like big. Okay. so I'm just.
I mean, the ocean's good to say you've done it. I liked it, but yes, if I have the choice of a lake, ocean, or a pool, I would like a swimming pool. Most likely a chair next to the swimming pool with, a drink in my hand.
Two drinks.
Right.
Yeah. And then one thing it's not really a dislike. I just wrote it down in my dislikes because I ran out of room on my pad. How do people work in this new fucked up world, this underwater world? Because the whole time I'm all like, okay, this guy and Thandie.
Well, apparently they don't, because didn't you see the shitty boats they were riding around
in? They were like fisher boats, like that are made out of aluminum and shit.
Dinghies and shit.
And he did pay that one guy with like a handful of coins. He's like, I want to buy your boat, and then he like handed him like a couple quarters, and I'm like, that's all a boat costs in this little world here.
I'm like, I mean, if anyone's ever been to Miami, you don't see shitty boats like that in Miami. they're all nice. So where did the nice boats go? Why are only the shitty boats left? And why
Maybe all the rich people own them in their walled off
But did
wall
you see
area.
when he was sitting in the boat? Hugh Grant looked like a fucking giant in that fucking first boat when he was riding
he paid with it.
Earrings.
Yeah,
No, that was like the cab. No, it was like the cab he took. That was
yeah.
Off the boat. But like the guy was back by the motor, and then he's sitting in the front, and he's taking up like 80% of the boat. And I was
for
like,
sure. I also wrote down, you know how they're walking in the street and it's just water. I'm all like, are your shoes getting wet? And isn't that like the worst?
Have gross, like pruny feet. I yell at my kids that it's time to get out of the bath. You guys are walking around like that all the time.
Then don't you hate that feeling when you're walking around and your shoes and socks are wet, but you're just walking in them and you're like, well,
there's water in the street, but the sidewalks, they show that one seat and that guy's like using the broom to push the water off the sidewalk. Walk on the fucking
sidewalk. Right. Yeah.
Like my question this whole movie was, why the fuck do people live here?
Right. Yeah. Like,
why do you live here? Somebody give me that answer. Why did people continue to live there?
Yeah. Miami at this point is not that great. Okay. And they're like, people don't go out during the day to escape the heat. This sounds like an awful place to live. Why are you people living here? This is the worst.
It's so hot. You don't go out during the day and you go out at night. You have to be in a boat. Enough drunk people get into boat accidents in the daytime. Now you're putting drunk people in boats at night.
Right on. Speaking of boat accidents, have you seen that YouTube video where those people are riding that speedboat and they hit the backdraft from another boat and they just all like flop all over the place? Yeah, I'll leave a link to that on this description down below, people. But
and you
I
can
love
say
that
thank
video.
you in the notes as well.
That's so good.
Comments.
So what was another thing in your dislike section?
I did not like his like flashbacks at all. That I didn't care.
Like with the chick, May?
Yeah, I just didn't like the whole story. Like they weren't even married. It wasn't like they'd been married for 20 years.
Right.
They were boyfriend, girlfriend, they dated, and nothing against boyfriend, girlfriends that date for long term. That's perfectly fine. All I'm saying is I just kind of go, it couldn't have been that serious of a relationship. She literally she paid all of her bills. She packed her shit up and left. She didn't even invite him to go. So, dude, she's not that into you. Walk away.
Yeah, and he fell hard. Like I'm all like, listen, don't get me wrong. If they suck a dick, good, but that doesn't mean you fall in love right away.
Vagina can be made of gold. They're great. Yeah, I mean, come on. But
like, she's really? Like, he's like, yeah. When he was like, he was like, I love you, and she's like, we've only been dating for a couple months. I was like, oh, well, he said it after a couple months. I mean, it was a year before I told my wife I loved her. So
my whole thing is like, dude, was she your first?
Yeah, she was not Hugh Jackman's first. No, he is smashing the pussy in that little water world. Okay, he is smashing it.
But he got attached.
He did get
crazy
attached. He got so attached. So
my whole question is, would he have been as attached if he could not go back and relive the memories? Because Elsa, wasn't that her name? Elise. What was the chick with the old dude? The chick that was
Elise.
So Elise says, because remember, they try to give her the memories to take home, and she's like, no, it's not the same, because I can actually feel his touch. In that, I can only watch it. So do you think he would have been as attached if it was just a normal memory rather than going in and reliving it?
Dude, I don't know.
Dude could not move on.
Right? Yeah, I hear you. And it was like,
and clearly she wasn't a good person because she was sleeping with the Joe guy and all of that.
Right, and stealing drugs.
Right. So why, dude? Why?
And what was the drug called? Like Boga or something like that?
Baca.
Baca. I was like, you couldn't come up with a better name than Baca. What is that? Sounds like something from Star Wars. Right? I wrote down that I didn't like the generic plot / love affair / love child / murder mystery kind of thing. I was like, listen, this is all so you can kill a kid because you don't want to share your fortune. Like, get out of here with that.
Shit crazy was the old guy's like real wife.
Oh yeah, she was like, yeah, she had something wrong with her. I
She
felt
had,
bad for
I was
her.
getting the whole like Norman Bates feeling with her and her son's relationship. Like, mother, do I please you? And she's just bones in a rocking chair 30 years down the road.
I feel you. Yeah, no, yeah, I kind of felt bad for her though. There was a yeah, can't waste it.
No, don't
I
waste
felt bad for her because she was all like stuck in that little like clock shop, which I'm all like, what a
What
weird
the hell
memory.
was that? He was a real estate tycoon and she's in a fucking clock shop. What
Yeah.
the hell? Like that was never explained either. Like I didn't get that.
Yeah, and I don't like people that call like guys that call their women my flower. What is that? Like, what kind of a nickname is that? I don't know. Listen, if
I
you
feel
call
like
your
he
woman a
did it so
flower,
that he
explain that.
didn't mix up his wife and his mistress or say his mistress name in front of his wife. I feel
Oh,
like that's why
there was
he
no
did
mixing up
it.
those two, I'll tell you
No.
that. Although they were both pretty hot. I'd smash both of
Yeah,
them. They were both hot. Yeah.
no, for sure.
What was another thing on your dislike list?
Um, I I didn't like the ending at
Okay.
all.
That's the last thing I have on my list is I
Yeah.
didn't like, okay, first off, I did not like that his punishment was living in his happy memories. Like what for murder? He murdered that man. Now, granted, he was a total douche with his hamburger face and
Yeah.
everything, but you don't get to murder somebody and just get happy memories your whole life. That's
Right.
not how it works. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not justice. All right.
Well, and then he tells the chick the story, you know, at the end that he was like telling her in the beginning. And I'm like, dude, that's a shitty story to pick because
Yeah.
they don't end up together.
Right. And I don't know about you, but remember at the beginning when he's voicing over and he's all like, and I don't remember what he said, but he's like, in a world where we live and da da da. And like at the end of his little speech, I was like, wait, what? What does that mean? What does this mean? I'm so confused right now. And it's minute one. Okay.
But my whole thing is why did we need the like sunken water world? Like I feel like this movie
Yeah,
was like what happened. It was the prequel to Waterworld. Like, you know,
right.
when when Kevin Costner
Right.
dives down and sees the skyscrapers.
Yeah.
That was Miami.
Yeah. And then I like how he was all like, they built the barons built their walls around their little habitats, pushing the water back. And I was like, I don't think you know how water works. Like that's not how water works. Like,
But I was like, why did we have to be in this setting for this
I don't,
movie?
I don't know.
They could have been in the fucking space station and done
Right.
the same story, and it would
That
have
might have been
cooler.
actually, would say when you were finished.
I was gonna say that would have been cooler.
Yeah, but I think that would have been a better idea if it was in space station. That would have been like it was in space station. If it was in a space station, I think that would have been a better idea because at least they'd
Colony
be
on Mars,
like
and it's
floating
like
around.
the first murder or whatever.
Yeah.
It would have been better.
You probably would have been better.
In Miami underwater, like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, and it just had this like film noir, like old gangster feel to it. And I was just like, yeah, I don't need this. I don't need this whatever's going on. Like,
No.
So all right. I don't have any more. Do you have anything else on your dislike list?
No.
Okay. The one thing I wrote down and I wrote down, this movie was fun. And every time I talk about a movie and I say that it was fun, it means it wasn't a good movie. Like I didn't like it. I just wrote down, oh, it was fun because and everything. So I wrote down a couple questions. Oh, which I'm glad I wrote them down because when I wrote them down sober, it's better because right now I can't think of anything. Okay. Did you think that this movie would have done well if it was released at the box office? If it was released just in theaters? Because this was supposed to be, this was one of those movies that Warner Brothers, they put on their HBO Max thing. And
Would have, I don't think anyone would have liked it anymore.
would
I
you have went
definitely
and
think-
seen it?
Well, yeah, I mean,
You would have went and seen this movie in the movie theater.
it's totally up my husband's wheelhouse. He would have seen it.
Oh, I wouldn't have. I'd have been like, I'm not paying for that. There's no superheroes, and he's not Wolverine in this movie, so no.
No, we would have went and seen it.
Oh, I would not.
I would have
seen
went
it.
for the alcohol.
Will you watch this movie again?
Hell no.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not watching this
Will I
movie again.
recommend this to anyone? Hell
No, yeah,
no.
I'm not gonna. Even my wife was all like, I was like, what'd you think? And she was all like, she's
I'll
like,
tell them
I
to
don't.
go read the little summary and it'll be way better.
Yeah, she was just like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. I was like, yeah, exactly. It was like, this is not good. No good.
It's another one of those movies too that it was way too long. They could have shaved a minimum of 25 minutes off this movie.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, well, whatever. I was like, whatever, it's fine. I already pay for the HBO Max subscription, so I was
Me too.
like, yeah, I was like, I'm paying for it. I might as well just watch it every time they put out a new movie. So
Yeah, but this one.
yeah, this one was no good. Okay, so why don't we head over to our own little segments? You little hooker, you. What is your segment? I mean, I already know what it is, but go ahead and ask anyways.
So my question is, what is your favorite climate control or climate change movie?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I wanted to say Greta just so I could do her voice. She'd be like, "How dare you? How this is our lives. I am a child. You are an adult. What are you doing in this world that we live in? How dare you?" And but then I was like, no, because I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know. I was just gonna lie, but it's Waterworld. I love Waterworld. Like you mentioned it, I mentioned it. This movie is so good. I love this movie. When it came out, it was the highest. It was the most expensive movie at the time. It's so good.
And it
I
was
know
such a huge flop, but I
it
think
was.
it was.
It
I think
was.
that's because it had such high expectations. Like people, it was long too. It was a long movie.
They could have
People,
made
that
it
was a
like
commitment.
longer. They,
Huh?
I think there's a director's cut. I would watch that. It's so
Yeah.
good. I love this movie. I
It
love
was a
this
good.
movie when it came out. It was
Yeah,
so good.
I'm definitely I feel like I'm in the minority as well by saying I liked it.
I like to. Kevin Costner, so hot.
Like, I mean,
Well, not anymore because he's old, but he was
old
hot.
people can be hot too.
I mean, I guess so, if you say so.
I mean, Betty White's still pretty
Oh my
smoking.
God, I'd smash Betty White so hard.
I can't see.
So hard.
And
Oh
what?
my gosh. Before I did it though, I would memorize a bunch of her lines from Golden Girls and just repeat it back to her. Like it'd be so good. Like it would be so good.
And all I envision when you say I would repeat lines is her in Lake Placid, where she's telling the cops that she fed her husband to the alligators.
Right? She's like, I hope this alligator rips your friends apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip you apart, Betty White.
This is the part where if I had a dick, I'd tell you to suck it.
Right. See, I would say that line to her too. I was like, this is the part where if I had a dick, I'd tell you to suck it. You cock sucking whore.
Well, if you had one, I would.
She would. She'd be witty like that. She'd come back with them and I'd be like, oh, Betty White, I love it. I love it. Oh, oh, dirty. You're dirty. Or what is your favorite climate change movie?
So I like Snowpiercer.
Oh my God, I love that movie. I love that movie so much. I love the little Asian man that's in like the fridge cell or whatever. Like he comes out and he's got like the long gross hair and he's just like all talking Japanese and everything. And everybody's like, what's he saying? He's all like, he's like, it's melting. I can tell. He's like that plane and everything. Yeah. The plane. And Tilda Swinton with her big ass teeth that are too big for her mouth, but she's all like, where else am I going to get teeth from?
Is it really that important to have the teeth? You would be okay without them.
Right. And I also love how that one guy threw a brick at her and she's all like, now you lose your arm. And I'm all like, what?
Like, wait a minute. That's not the same thing.
Yeah. Like, and I said brick, but I don't even think it was a brick. I think it was like a Charleston chew or some bullshit. He just threw it at, like, it was like their food with their gelatin bars. I think he threw one at her and she's just all like, that motherfucker's losing a whole arm now. And I'm all like, what?
She is very much this train does got no time for anyone's bullshit. I will throw your ass off of it in a second.
Right. And remember the creepy guy that came in with the eggs and he's like, he's your egg and everything. And then I'm like, oh, this dude's creepy. Don't eat those. Those
Don't
are
eat that.
bad.
He sat on that all night long,
Yeah,
making it
he's
warm for
yeah.
you. Don't eat
Yeah,
that.
with his bald child molester looking ass. Like, I was all like, I don't like him at all.
There were so many great characters in that movie. Like, even if the storyline wasn't good, it would have just been great from the characters.
For sure.
Is your screen dirty?
The top of my computer had a little dust and everything. I love that movie. So I love Snowpiercer. Chris Evans, so hot.
Right.
But I also like
so many hot Chris's though in
so
Hollywood.
Many hot Chris's.
So many.
Yeah. You got a hot kid, name him Chris.
That's right. Or just when they go to Hollywood, tell them to pick Chris as their screen name.
Yeah, for sure.
Last name.
Yeah, no. But yeah, Snowpiercer is a good one. All right. So moving over to my segment. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. What is your favorite film noir movie?
Vertigo.
All right. Yeah, I love Vertigo. I remember. Go ahead. You talk.
I just love it. It's just so great. It's just. It set the standard for every noir movie. Like, in my mind, like if you're making one, I feel like that's like the inspiration of every single one. When someone sits down to write one, they're trying to reach the same level as Vertigo.
I feel you. Yeah, no, the Vertigo is a really good one because I first off, who doesn't love Hitchcock? I mean, come on. He's so good. Yeah,
Cock's great.
Cock is great. Anyways, but then I also I remember the first time I watched that movie and I was just like, so I found out because I watched that when I went to school, you know, film school and everything. And I found out that movie, you know how when spoilers for anybody that's not seen Vertigo. First off, you're crazy. Second off,
go watch it. Right.
Yeah,
right
go
when
stop
we're done,
this and
watch it.
Yeah, stop it right now and go watch because I'm going to spoil it. Okay, you know when you find out that the blonde woman is not really who she says she is, and she lied the whole time. My teacher at the time, the professor at the time, had told me that originally Hitchcock wanted that to be the very end of the movie. But the studio was like an M. Night Shyamalan kind of thing, a twist. But the studio made him put it closer to the middle than the end. And I was all like, oh, that would have been so good. See, Hitchcock was before his time because he was thinking like a real master.
For sure. He was all about the mind fuck before a mind fuck was a real thing.
Yeah.
He was wanting you to leave questioning so much.
Yeah, and it had the weird neighbor lady that was all in love with him and everything. I'm like, why aren't you tapping that? She's pretty hot. I'd tap that. Even if you didn't like.
They didn't do that. That was so, you know.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, they did it, but they didn't tell anyone. They weren't very talkative about it.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good choice. I love it.
Yeah, and it had a great cast too. It wasn't like newbies. He picked really great actors and actresses for it. Hitchcock's a genius, was a genius. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, take the time to watch it, even though it was from I think it came out in like 1958. 58. Yeah. It's worth it. It's worth your time. You'll love it. You'll want to show it to all your friends.
Right on. I completely agree. Well, my choice is The Maltese Falcon. I love this movie. This is my favorite film noir movie, obviously, because this is my subject. I mean, listen, Humphrey Bogart, Mary Astor, that's all I need to say. I love it. I love the mystery of it all. It's so good. I mean, Mary Astor's character is a little too like they're what men saw women back in the day, like, oh no, whatever shall I do, sir, help me, you big strong.
I'm just a feeble woman, I'll go bake you cookies, but you
that's exactly how it is.
My car.
Were you in this movie? That's exactly how it is. But at the same time, like, I watch it and I love that movie. I love it so much. I love the ending. I just love that movie so much. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you guys. So that's all we got for this week for Reminiscent. You guys can tell us how you guys think about it and all that stuff. Thank you so much for listening to us. Follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated and everything. We'll also be posting the video version of this onto our YouTube channel. So you be sure to subscribe to us there. And that is BS Drunk Movie Reviews. And just remember, you guys, don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.